Hi, I'm Tim Roble, and welcome to another episode of Adventure Athlete, the 31-day series of Path to King of the Motos. So today is 30 days out, episode 2. So let's talk about yesterday and the successes and some of the failures that I had. So yesterday I woke up, had the cup of coffee, and that usually ends up being 3 cups of coffee. And I got started a little late. I was working on organization for the event, starting brainstorming some things that I might need, such as a tire, oil change, stuff like that. But yesterday for the training and everything went really well. I wanted to start out strong. I got a 49.5 mile bike ride in, and that went well. Went home, jumped in the shower. That ended up being about 4:45 to 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, I had my first meal of the day, and that's something that we're going to talk about today is my diet and what eating structure I have chosen for this event and my training throughout.
Hello.
Hold on, that was my Strava just going nuts. So what happened with that was I had a 100% plant-based diet. I grilled up a couple of tostada shells and some black beans, organic black beans, broccoli, garlic. I added a little soy rizo, which is kind of like a seasoning, like a chorizo, to add a little flavor to it. And then I had 5 black olives, 5 green olives, garlic stuffed, and about 4 or 5 beet slices. That was my dinner. That was my only meal last night, and that was phenomenal. Now comes the bad part, and I will share with you my successes and losses. And my loss yesterday was mixing up my first vodka water, and I basically put a little squeeze Mio in it. It gives it flavor, raspberry. And I had one of those, and really that was too much on my my system, my stomach. Now, did I get sick or anything like that? No, but did that hinder my performance? Yes, it did this morning waking up. So part of the structure that I'm laying out is to get a good sleep cycle in from 10 to 6 in the morning. I want my natural rhythm to get into the flow of what I'm going to be out there on a race day. And race day, you need to wake up early, get your stuff going. Out training today, it's 42 degrees, so I'm already working on being adaptive to being cold and training in the cold. I'm not wearing any jacket or any pants or anything. I just got shorts on. But so yesterday was a maybe a 75-25 win and a little bit of a failure on that. So let's talk about diet. One of the things yesterday, I ran into a guy 72 years old, and he's a vegetarian. One of the things that's got me thinking about plant-based was the Netflix series Game Changers. And if you haven't watched it, it's something cool to watch. You might not be all into like giving up meat. I'm not going to give up meat, but I am going to head more plant-based. So going back to 2017, the trend for the new year was intermittent fasting. Thomas DeLauer was the guy I was watching on YouTube, and he really kind of gave me permission to skip breakfast. And if you don't know what intermittent fasting is, that's where you eat basically in a set window of time. For me, it was 8 hours. I was doing a 16-8 intermittent fasting. I basically skip breakfast, have my first meal around 12. Usually about 6 to 7 o'clock, I would cut off my eating, and that worked really well for me. That started my fat adaptive in my system. And what that is where your body tends to burn the fat before it burns the carbs. So 2018, he started talking about the ketogenic diet. Now, I had done Atkins before and really had terrible results on it. I didn't feel good, didn't have good energy. But I thought I would give keto a try, and I did keto in conjunction with intermittent fasting. And that really worked out really well for me. Worked really well, but I worry about, after watching this Game Changers, I worry about my internal, in my arteries, in my veins, clogging up with cholesterol. I really worry about that. They say it's not going to be an issue, but I kind of, in my head, kind of think that it could be. So that led to going more plant-based. I'm still doing intermittent. I'm still really omitting the carbs. I have fat on my body to burn, and if you're using fat as fuel, you tend to have a higher energy. I've played with eating breakfast before a ride. My times are 10 minutes slower, 5 minutes slower. I feel sick, I feel slow. I'm talking 2 hours after a meal. Not my thing, and especially if I decide I'm going to have an apple fritter, with sugar and carbs. No, that doesn't work for me. That's a down. Anyway, I'm going to give you a quick view as I talk of where I go train. And I have to do this to give my shoulder a rest because it actually starts cramping up from the bike ride and then holding this phone out. But right out here, I'm in Fairmont Park, here on the high bike, and getting ready and getting organized to head out to the Hammers tomorrow. So I will do a video tomorrow from the lake bed and some of the riding that I'm doing out there. Anyway, one of the things I noticed about this vegetarian guy that I met, super nice guy, super informative. I really enjoyed his company. We talked at the halfway point. But he's been vegetarian his whole life, which I found that was kind of interesting. I guess you're raised into it. His parents were vegetarian, of course. So I met him, but as we were talking, he ate a full, I won't say it's a power bar, but a performance bar, a recovery bar. And he ate that. And then he took off. I finished up on another Instagram video, and then I headed out after him, probably 5 minutes behind him. So, I ride my e-bike in Eco, which is pretty close to riding the same pace that you would ride on a road bike, a good road bike. Usually 18 to 22 miles an hour in the flats. That's about what I average. And he was actually moving really well. But I did notice about the maybe 8 to 10 mile marker, he was pulled over again, eating some more, another bar. And that got me really to thinking about my system and what I'm doing and how that is working for me. My system, I think, being intermittent fasting and training on an empty stomach and training more of a keto, although I'm going plant-based, still eating avocado a day, which is something that I adapted before when we have them. Trying to keep my fats higher, and what that does is it trains your body into using your own fats. It changes the bacteria in your stomach, and it prefers to digest fats and proteins over carbohydrates. So I'm training right now on an empty stomach. It's almost 1 o'clock, and I'm not hungry, I'm not weak, I'm not tired. I feel good, my mind is clear, and I feel like going out and going after it. Saying that right now I'm super excited to be racing King of the Motos. It's given me a focus to up my training, especially for the beginning of the year. And I know I'm going to drop some weight, and I know I'm going to feel better, and I'm super honored to be racing this this premier race. It's America's toughest race. Something like that is to me, it's epic and a great way to start the year energized. So if you don't know anything about intermittent fasting or keto, look it up. And if you haven't watched the Netflix show Game Changers, I think it is a game changer, and it'll at least spark your mind into that type of thing. But for now, I'm going to stay fat adaptive. I am going to eat meat from time to time. I'm just going to focus more on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and self-assess every day. Let me put this phone right here, and hopefully I'm still in the screen, but the old shoulder is getting tired. But my focus is going to be, I plan on going to racing King of the Motos on an empty stomach, and I'll have a recovery meal after that. Now, yesterday I had one meal. Today I will probably have, I'm going to say 2. From time to time, I'm going to do one. I'll probably do 1 meal a day for 2 to 3 days a week. And there'll be some times that I'll do 3 meals a day, probably 1 day a week. And then for the rest of the time, it'll be like a lunch and a dinner. That's really works well for me. And you have to self-assess yourself. Now, my wife, she's an athlete also. She does a lot of weightlifting and trains in the gym, a lot of P90X type stuff. And she's recovering from another ACL surgery. She doesn't do it. She loves the carbs. She stays fit and trim on the carbs. She is a positive blood type, so am I, and it's funny how different. I gotta say, it's got to be what you train the bacteria, or what the the bacteria grows on in your stomach and what it processes and how it does that. So anyway, hopefully this type of thing has helped clear up a few things for you. And if not, maybe it's been informative, and follow along on my journey. Like I said, I'm 30 days out. This is only episode 2 for the King of the Motos prep. And I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying the journey. So if you like this type of thing, please hit like and subscribe. If you got any questions or comments, hit me up down below. That's going to be it for now. I'm Tim Roble. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you here next time.